Hello and welcome to my film review of The Tunnel from 2011, and I'm careful to put the year in because this sounds like the sort of title that might have been used a few times for all I know. In fact, I actually remember a TV series called The Tunnel from not long ago, but this review is The Tunnel 2011 standalone horror film about a group of people who get trapped under the ground in the streets of Sydney, and I seem to really enjoy this sort of subgenre of horror. I've seen quite a few similar films to this. As Above, So Below, again, a group of people trapped underground, that time in Paris. Catacombs, another film about people trapped under the ground in Paris. There was a film called Creep, I remember seeing, about people getting trapped near the London tube system. There was one in New York where people got trapped. I think that was called Stag Night, where people got trapped in these underground tunnels near the American tube systems, and so on and so on. So when I saw this listed on Prime last night, a chance to watch a similar type of film in Sydney, I was all over it. I was like, yeah, I seem to really like that. I don't know. I like seeing people trapped under the ground in movies, not in real life. So this film is very, very good, generally. I'll say that straight up front. There is one big problem with it, insofar as it's set in a kind of handheld documentary style, which a lot of people don't like anyway. I don't mind it, but in this instance, it took it a little bit too far for me, in that every sort of 5-10 minutes of the movie, it cut to an interview with some of the characters in a darkened room where they're speaking after the fact, as if these interviews are taking place after the movie, which kind of gives away the fact that they survived the movie. So, for instance, every 5 minutes, they would literally go, "Oh, so, at that point I knew things were going bad." And it's like, why have these interview segments? Just play the movie, so we don't know who's going to live and who's going to die. But anyway, so the plot of the movie is basically that the Australian government wants to build these water processing plants under the ground, and the problem with that is that there are homeless people living in all these abandoned sort of reservoir-y tunnel places where they want to build these processing plants. So it's a bit of a political issue. And then, mysteriously, the government abandons their plans around about the same time as a few homeless people are going missing. So the main character of the movie, Natalie, sort of thinks to herself, well, the government must know why these homeless people are going missing, and that must be why they've abandoned all their grand plans. So she takes a little team with her. She's got 2 cameramen, a sound editor, I think, and someone else. So there's 4 of them. And they go under the ground to investigate, and that's the plot. So everything I've talked about basically just covers the first 10 minutes, and then we're into the action. And apart from the fact that we know who's going to live and who's going to die, because 2 of these characters are being interviewed after the film, and just by elimination, we sort of figure that, well, that must mean that the other 2 are going to die, right? Because otherwise, why aren't they being interviewed? So apart from this sort of negative slant, everything else is really good. It's shot in a really good way. It's got a fantastic location. I mean, it actually looks like they're filming this in these abandoned aqueducts underneath Sydney. I mean, at one point they come out into these massive tunnels, and you think there's no way that they're using a set. They're actually on a proper location, going into these spooky, genuine underground, real-world city locations. And it's a real plus for the movie. It's really, really good. And I forgot about the whole interview thing after a while, and just really enjoyed the film. And it's got a lot of tension. There's at least 2 sequences where I was absolutely gripped, rigid, sort of peering through this handheld footage at some of the stuff that was going on. It's really, really top notch. The cast are really good. The actors are all very good. So there's 1 woman, 3 men. I've never seen any of these actors before, but they're absolutely terrific, all 4 of them. And yeah, I'd highly recommend the movie. It's not the most amazing of these types of films that I've seen, and certainly the whole interview aspect just takes it down a notch for me. But it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It only had 7 reviews. Obviously, if it had more, that score would come down. But that just tells you that this is a highly regarded film. It's not one that I've even heard of before, but yeah, I watched it, I enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it. If you've got Prime, give it a watch. Otherwise, seek it out. But if you like this kind of subgenre, people getting trapped under the ground, that kind of claustrophobic type of horror, then I think you'll really enjoy this. So, The Tunnel, 2011, directed by Carlo Ledesma. That's the movie. So, cheerio until next time.